Welcome to class. I'm Christine Pence, your instructor. I've been teaching at Northampton Community College for 18 years. I enjoy teaching a lot, and I really like teaching online. I also like traveling with students. That's some students of NCC in Italy. I like my cats. I love coffee. I like getting outside to exercise. I like being part of a church, and I love reading. Our course, Early Modern Europe, covers the history of Europe from 1300 AD to 1815 AD, which is, as I say in the syllabus, the Black Death to Napoleon. It is also the era of state formation, and it is kind of the run-up to European domination in the 19th century. It could also be called the foundation of capitalism. But most people think of this period as covering 5 separate times, I guess you could say, the Renaissance, 5 separate eras: the Renaissance, the Reformation, the Age of Absolutism, the Enlightenment, and the Industrial Revolution. And I will say to you that everything that happened in that 500-year span is relevant to the way you live now. This rather odd image makes us pause and ask, what's going on here? This is called a transy. It's a statue showing a person becoming a decomposing corpse. And it's not some sort of creepy Halloween trick. It is in fact a fad that took place in Europe in the early 16th century, and it's something that people understood as a kind of religious symbol. This corpse is holding up his heart to God. And so I'd like you to think, as historians think, which is that normal is a slow-moving construct. Over time, we change what we think is reasonable or normal to do. And in the past, people decided what to keep, what to change, and what to jettison for something better. And we too have that opportunity when we look at history to decide what to keep, what to change, and what to move on from. So those are some things that we need to remember. Normal is a slow-moving construct. The other thing I hope that you will learn through this course is that historians need to keep certain habits of mind active and practice them. The first is seeking context. Why do people do what they do? What are their pressures? What are their concerns? Second, historians need to weigh the significance of events. Is it important? How many people did it affect? How permanent is it? How long might it go on? And does it have the potential to continue changing people's lives or their quality of life? Historians really like to think about inflection points, which are the moments when it's pretty obvious that something could go one way or the other way. And historians wonder what would have happened if something had happened or something had not happened. Inflection points are something that historians keep an eye on. Last but not least, historians like to inquire skeptically and rigorously about numbers. How do we know how many people were present? How do we know how much money someone was paid? How do we know, and what records are we going to rely on? Will we use archaeology or will we use books to help us understand what's true? These are the habits of mind for historians, and I hope that you will carry them with you to other classes. I'd like for you to use the historian's mindset to make good judgments about your own actions and the implications of those actions. Be skeptical, be rigorous, be critical, weigh the significance, think about what could or could not have happened. Use that in your own life. Use the lessons of history to decide what's true, what's good, what can be changed. Another thing that I hope you will get from this course is optimism. There's very little that is inevitable, that can't be changed. Think about all the people who were able to make changes even though they were small and the problems they faced were big. As you go through this course, I hope that you will attain the course outcomes, which are these: to know the important events and trends for early modern Europe, to be able to explain how the events of early modern Europe influence the present, to be able to evaluate the validity of a historical account, to be able to explain how historians account for social change over time, and to understand the basic outlines of the historiography for early modern Europe. Historiography simply means the way we tell history, and the way we tell history changes over time, and I would like for you to understand how the way we have told the history of early modern Europe has changed over time. I want you to know something else. My syllabus is not a contract. I'm not going to hire a lawyer and take you to court if you don't learn what I teach you. I'm hoping that you will see this syllabus and see this course as a kind of feast, an invitation to really learn and enjoy and just dig into the facts and the events of early modern Europe and what you can learn from the stories that I will tell you. It is also a promise that I will try to grade your stuff as quickly as I can and give you good feedback. These are the things I think a course should do. So I'm not adopting a rigorous, I'm going to beat you up if you don't do the course attitude. I'm simply inviting you to come along with me and learn something good. And how will I teach it? And how will you show that you learned it? On the left there, you're learning the important events and trends for early modern Europe. You're explaining how the events of early modern Europe influence the present. You're evaluating the validity of historical accounts from early modern Europe. In other words, how do you know that's true? You're going to know some of the key historians of early modern Europe, and you're going to show how they explain big social changes. And last but not least, you're going to understand why the telling of history changes over time. The center column, my lectures, our timeline, my summaries, that will help you know the important events and trends for early modern Europe. Explaining them will also be through my lectures, my discussion board questions, and your discussion board questions. You'll be asking how we explain it, and you'll be setting up those questions for your classmates. My lecture will evaluate some of the validity of historical accounts from early modern Europe, and my commentary on the documents selected for the readings is also going to evaluate the validity of historical accounts. Know how some of the key historians of early modern Europe explain big social changes? That will also come in the lectures and my commentary on the documents selected for the readings, and also some of the timeline posts that I put up. And then last but not least, the final lecture of the course will really talk about why the telling of history changes over time. Now, I want to highlight on this third column, the far right column, that your timeline posts, your discussion board videos, questions and answers, and your summative paper are the three big kinds of assignments in this class. So if you pay attention to those three things, you will do well. You need to sign up for Padlet. Padlet is found at www.padlet.com. It's pretty easy to sign up for. If you would kindly let me know what email you used, and I would like for you to use your NCC email, then it will be easy for me to find you and invite you to the class timeline. But if you use an email other than the NCC email, let me know that. I think the readings are going to take you about 7 to 8 hours each week. And short form, this is an accelerated course. You need to stay on top of the work and ask me for help if you need it. It's really structured to reward you being diligent every week. You can catch up. It's a little bit lifequake proof, but it's not as lifequake proof as some of my longer courses. It means if you miss some work, it's going to be hard to catch up, so really stay on top of it. And I do want to say, ask me for help if you need it. I want you to take the subject seriously, but really love what you learn. Think about how it applies to your life. Don't worry too much, and if you need something, give me a call. Just be steadily persistent, work hard, and just keep trying.